This radio program is PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13.
The following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, this is Brother Mike. I'm back on the radio. Phoenix. Welcome to the program. HardcoreChristianity.com, Arizona Deliverance Center. Today's Bible study, Reincarnation. This is going to be an interesting show. Yep, Reincarnation today on Hardcore. Also maintain the radio programs on. Would you do that? This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center. We're downtown on 15th Avenue, which is south of Osborne Road. You know it's the red brick building. HardcoreChristianity.com is the website, of course. We have all our ministry services there. Remember, we have 4 live Zoom healing services every week. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings. Send me an email, mike@hardcorechristianity.com. I'll send you the code and the password. We have 2 live services every week, Thursday and Friday nights at 7 o'clock at the Deliverance Center. We have a monthly healing service for children, first Saturday of the month at 10 o'clock in the morning. Pre-teens only. We have another healing service coming up at the end of this month, September 2025. Hope you'll be there. Last Friday of the month. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. My Sunday morning podcast is still on at 9 o'clock. We're going strong. I give a nice shout out to my shut-ins. We have deliverance training classes Tuesday nights at 6:30 and the 4th Saturday of every month at noon. And we have a Sunday afternoon worship service at the Deliverance Center at 3 p.m. Reincarnation. Check it out. Tenzin Gyatso. Who's that? Well, it's the Dalai Lama, of course. He's the 14th Dalai Lama. There were 13 of them previous to him. He is a proponent of Tibetan Buddhism. And the Dalai Lama is, a wonderful person, great personality, strong interpersonal skills, a wonderful people person, a proponent of world peace, and very moral person and so on. We say a lot of good things about him. But the first Dalai Lama was a guy named Gendam Drupa, and he lived back in the 1400s. And in Tibet, of course, and it became a powerful religious and political institution. Well, Tibet got raided, as you know, by the Chinese government in 1959, I believe it was, 1958, 59, the Chinese government took the place over. The Dalai Lama fled. He was a political refugee. He went to India to save his life. And the Chinese government has been trying to control the Dalai Lama ever since then. They don't give two hoots about his religion, but he's a very powerful political figure, and he's a very popular person. And so he causes China a lot of problems. The Dalai Lama does not like communism for obvious reasons. Unlike our students on our campuses here in America who are essentially idiots and who have no common sense, and many of them have actually, believe it or not, lower IQs. They don't understand the horrible ramifications of the atheistic government of communism. It is a cold-blooded human massacre. During a recent COVID outbreak in China, the federal government sent the troops in and boarded up the apartments of the people who were infected so they could not leave their homes. They could not go get food. They could go nowhere. They couldn't go to work. Nothing. They literally boarded them up in their apartments. That's communism for you. Welcome to the party, pal. Well, the Dalai Lama came out and made some interesting statements here recently. I don't know if you saw it in the news, but he said that that when he dies, he will be reincarnated to become the next Dalai Lama. All the Dalai Lamas have been reincarnated to become the next Dalai Lama. That's how it works. And the new Dalai Lama, he said, when he's reincarnated, will be, a Tibetan Buddhist, and that China should stay out of the process. Well, in Christianity, we don't believe in reincarnation. We believe in resurrection. There's a difference. Obviously a huge one. But just recently, China, listen to this, strangest thing you've ever heard. The Foreign Ministry of China quickly issued a statement after the Dalai Lama said that. And the government said that the Dalai Lama's reincarnation must be approved by the central government of China for it to be legitimate. Communists do not believe in reincarnation. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in the spirit world. Nothing. But they know that the Dalai Lama is a very powerful political figure. They made this political statement stating that reincarnation had to be approved by the government for it to be legitimate. Here's what they said, quote, "The reincarnation of the Dalai Lama, the Panchen Lama, and other great Buddhist figures must be chosen by drawing lots from a golden urn and approved by the central government," said Mao Ning, Foreign Ministry spokesman, said at a recent press conference. If you can believe any of this. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. This is actually, the devil actually gets people to believe this stuff. And as you know, the Chinese government implements a policy of freedom of religious belief. But, and there's a big but to it, but there are regulations on religious affairs and methods for managing the reincarnation of the Tibetan living Buddhas. For example, China confiscated all the Bibles in the country and retranslated it. And for example, instead of John the Baptist, it's a Chinese missionary. I mean, the whole thing was absolutely, completely renovated. Christian Bibles. There's several Christian organizations who smuggle Bibles into China, real Bibles, but the Chinese government confiscates all the Bibles. It's a major felony to have a Bible in your possession in China. The churches are underground, and the churches that are not underground have nothing to do with Christ or God. They're simply religious rituals that are closely monitored by the communist government. Again, this is what our students don't understand here in America. Most of these kids act like they're brain dead. They don't really understand anything about communism. And the fact that they're protesting would never be allowed there. That's the benefits of living in freedom here in America. The Dalai Lama, as you know, just turned 90. Was the last Sunday or the Sunday before. And he said, quote, "I'm affirming that the institution of the Dalai Lama will continue through reincarnation. And it has to be identified through Tibetan Buddhism only, not through the Chinese government. And it has to come through a nonprofit organization he established in 2015 called the Gaiden Phodrang Trust. They're the ones that are going to coordinate it and handle the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama." Okay? So, he said no one else has any authority to interfere in this matter, including the Chinese government. The current Dalai Lama, as I mentioned, was the 14th reincarnation. And he assumed his role in 1940. That's how long this guy's been around. 90 now. And the concept of reincarnation, believe it or not, was commonly held in Jesus' time. There were a number of Jewish people who believed in reincarnation, and some still do. There were a lot of Romans that believed in reincarnation. And believe it or not, reincarnation is not a weird subject. It's a mainstream concept. People actually truly believe in reincarnation. Even here in America, there's a pretty good percentage of people who actually believe in reincarnation. I think it's almost 10%. Could be 9 or 8, something like that. I forgot the results of that survey I read. But there's a lot of people that believe in reincarnation. It's not a far-fetched idea. And 14 different times the Dalai Lama has been reincarnated. And this one's 90 years old. He's not going to live much longer. So he's got to get this system promulgated and continued. And it has to be done according to his policies, not the Chinese government. And I'll tell you what, they are extremely angry at him. They would kidnap him and kill him if they had a chance to do it. There's no question about it. He is a anti-communist, anti-Chinese government figure who does not mind. Communists hate people who do not mind. And obviously China, along with every other country, particularly the ones in the Middle East, fear the Bible more than they fear anything on this earth, because the Bible will wipe out Islam and wipe out atheism virtually overnight. If these people started allowing Bibles in their country, their entire system would collapse. That's why in Muslim countries and in China, it's illegal to own a Bible. You can't own a Bible. You'll get arrested and or tortured and or killed. Because the Bible is, the power of it is so great that the people in Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, and so on, if you let people have holy Bibles around, their system will collapse. The Bible will wipe out the Quran so fast, you can't even believe it. Well, friends, there is no such thing as reincarnation. When you die, you go to one of two places, according to the Word of God. You either go to heaven or you go to hell. And you do not get reincarnated. You do not come back here, as the Hindus say, as possibly an animal or something like that, and then work your way back up to being a human. None of that is true. It wasn't true in Jesus' time. It's not true now. The Dalai Lama, unfortunately, is a wonderful man. He's a good man. He stands for a lot of great principles. But when he dies, guess what's going to happen to him? You guessed it. Fires of hell. See you next time.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.